And we are live, I believe. Welcome, everybody, to the 32nd episode, wow, of the Free Skates podcast. Today I'm here with James, aka James Dylan Brown on Instagram. What's up?
How's it going? Good to be
Not
here.
too bad. Yeah, nice to see you. James has actually visited San Diego more than once or just once?
Uh, it was like once really. I came a second time, but it was only for like a day, so
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
really hang out.
Yeah, I came once before to skate with us at some of our meetups. So
Yep.
James is a close friend of ours in the free skating community. And today we're going to be talking about skating communities, being a part of a larger group of free skaters and just skaters in general, as well as skating through city streets, because those are some things that James has some experience with. So before we get into some of that stuff, I think anybody who is here, feel free to make yourselves known in the chat. Say hello, ask any questions for James or myself here, and we're going to start with all the way back to how you found free skating. So wherever you want to start, just like how did you begin?
Yeah. So maybe I'll like give a little background like my skating history. So when I was
Okay.
a kid, I used to rollerblade. When I was pretty young, I used to do like roller hockey with friends in the cul-de-sac, and I was into that for a while. Kind of stopped doing that maybe around like 2010 or so. After high school, I started getting into longboarding. One of my friends, Andrew, he brought over a longboard and showed me that, and I got into that. It was pretty
Mm.
fun, so I bought one. Kind of did that off and on. Didn't consistently skate, but would take it out every so often to go skate.
And that
Um,
was around when did you have that longboard?
it was like 2010. It was like around
Okay.
high school, so I kind of off and on would skate just like through the neighborhood, but nothing too serious.
Mm.
Um, and then flash forward to it was like September 2020. Um, I saw on Instagram one of my friends, Alex. He he posted a story of him skating through the streets with like a group of had to been like 20, 30 people through the streets, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. So apparently they did this skate every Sunday, so I wanted to join. So the next following Sunday, I got my longboard and went out to one of their skates, and this is they had been skating since I think March 2020, so kind of around when COVID started. But I joined in around September. That was my first time skating with them, and I kind of fell in love immediately with the skating community and be able to be a part of that those large skates. And so I started skating with my longboard for probably about a month or so, and then I came across a one wheel pint, one of the electric boards.
Mm.
Um, got a pretty good discount
Oh,
on
so
some
you got
stuff.
your own.
Yeah. So I grabbed one of those for pretty cheap, that I found, and started skating on that in the groups, which is pretty fun. It's really good for getting like shots, video shots, and taking videography, which I know you're pretty good with on the free skates. But you got really smooth video with the one wheel. And I was doing that for a good month or so. Um, some of my friends would kind of like tease me about being on like an electric board,
Mm.
putting in as much effort
Like
as
cheating or something.
yeah. I was the only one I think on anything electric at that point. Um, Maybe about a couple weeks after we started running into more electric, like electric longboarders, more one wheelers, and they started joining into our group. So,
Mhm.
shortly after, we had a good group of like 10 to 15 one wheelers that would come to our meetups and skate with us. So, kind of did that for couple weeks, and then since I was no longer um, the sole one wheeler in the group, I kind of wanted to get into something a little different.
Mm.
Um, and so I was looking at buying some roller skates, which is probably the majority of what people have there. It's majority of quad roller skates. There's some inlines and longboarders, but I was considering getting some quad skates because that's what all my close friends there had. But can't I know I saw you guys on Instagram. Not sure how I came across you. I think because of the name of the group that I skate with, CLT Free Skate, has free skate in the name. I think by searching something like that, or that being in my my search
maybe you were like targeted or something, or was it an ad, or I don't know.
Yeah, I saw a couple of videos, probably on like the explore page of free skating, and I had never seen them before, didn't know they existed. Saw some of the tricks that they were doing. It was like a Japanese writer, I think, but I just saw like the amazing things you could do on them, and how tiny and portable they were. So I thought that would be something that would be unique, which is my style. Doing something that's kind of different than others.
Yeah.
So I decided to try them out. Ordered them. That was November, I think, 2020. So I ordered those. It's really rough the first couple of days. I was skating with a couple of my close friends on the top of a parking deck, which it didn't really have that great of an incline, so it was pretty rough to get started. I didn't. I had watched some of your beginner videos, but I didn't dive too much into that. I was just trying to learn myself.
How long did it take you to kind of get a grasp?
Probably 2 days. I think I spent about 2 days like on that on top of the parking deck skating, because we would pretty much do that almost daily. And yeah, so I spent a good 2 days just trying to work my way a complete lap around the top of the parking deck.
You
So
were able to do laps after 2 days?
yeah, I
Okay.
definitely. The other place I like to skate at is a place called Camp North End, which is like this kind of slab under a water tower. And I think that same night I went out and I spent several hours just trying to learn the movements to skate around. So I did have some help there, but it's definitely not the best place to learn on top of the parking deck, because they have so many of those little like transition points that were really hard to get over.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe helped me in the long run, just being able to navigate over some of those little cracks and bumps that they have.
So how long before you were able to actually use these in like a group setting? Because I would think you were pretty slow at the beginning and maybe not able to keep up as much.
Yeah, so for probably it was a good couple months that I would still use the one wheel. So when we do our skate routes, it's like we start at a park, we skate a few blocks to a different park, and then we stop at that park, and we're kind of doing some static skating there for 30 minutes to an hour, and then we kind of move on to the next route.
Nice.
So what I would do is I would pull out my free skates out of my backpack when we stopped at those points, and I would skate, and that's how I was building some of the muscle for doing free skating.
Yeah.
But it was probably a good 3 to 4 months after I started skating before I could do the entire route start to finish on the free skates. That I think it was like 3 or 4 months. I tried. I was like, hey, I'm gonna try to do it from the beginning, all on free skates, and it was pretty rough the first go around, but definitely every time I did it after that, it was
was that more of a speed problem, or just general exhaustion, or why couldn't you keep up?
yeah, probably just exhaustion in the feet.
Okay.
I still kind of had that problem a little bit, just feet cramping up over
It
time.
didn't quite have the endurance built up.
Yeah, but I mean, we stop at like every stoplight and stuff, and so there's plenty of time to rest your feet. But I built up a lot of muscle in my legs and calves to be able to keep going. So honestly, stopping and starting is kind of the hardest part, because that takes a lot of power to stop and start.
Yeah, once you're going, it's nice. But
Once you're moving, you're good. But you keep stopping and starting, and it takes a lot out of you, for sure.
especially at the beginning. So how long is that route altogether that you took?
The routes vary. I mean, so we would go all the way from this park to like South End and then back. So I would say total, you're probably looking at, depending on the route, it's good 3 to 6 miles, depending on the route does change. I would say probably about 6 miles total if you're going all the way there.
Oh wow,
So 3
that's
there.
a ways.
Yeah.
As especially a ways to be going after only 3 or 4 months. So I would
I
say
was
that's
I was
impressive.
skating, pretty heavily though, like almost every night, just working at it. So
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like the daily practice paid off then,
for sure.
because I was definitely using them every day, but it was just across campus. So I guess it was consistent practice, but nothing like huge distances.
Yeah,
So first time I tried those, even later on, it was difficult because just like if I'm a sprinter, right? If I'm a runner, I'm not going to be able to run those longer distances until doing that.
for sure.
So we have William in the chat, William Gabbery, if you know who that is.
Not by name. No,
Welcome,
Isaac.
William.
What's up, Isaac?
And then Isaac Wilcox. Is that a local to one of
Yeah,
your communities?
yeah. He's a one wheeler and a roller skater as part of the CLT free skate group.
Cool. Well, welcome, Isaac.
Charlie.
So does Isaac free skate?
No, it is not.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. I try to get everyone to do it, but
All right.
we have
Uh,
one other free skater in the group that I got to get into free skating, which is Simon. So
oh,
shout
cool.
out to Simon for.
Shout out Simon. Isaac says I've tried. William says I'm not a household name. That's all right. Well, thanks to both of you for being here. So, what is the group with all these roller skaters and rollerbladers and whatever? Does that have a name?
Yeah, so there's two groups that I'm in.
Okay.
The first one that I joined originally is CLT Free Skate.
And what does that stand for?
CLT is Charlotte, the abbreviation for Charlotte. So Charlotte and then free skate. And free skating not as in our free skating, but just in general free skating. Skating freely.
Nice.
Um,
Cool.
Which is kind of ironic, being a free skater in the CLT free skate group.
Yeah, it's a kind of broad term. Like it could be used for like some ice skating and rollerblading. Some sports kind of use it interchangeably, but then we're like, no, we're like the real free skating. So I don't know. It's confusing sometimes.
For sure. And then the other group's Let's Skate Charlotte, which is a little bit newer. I think they just turned one last weekend, so they've been there for about a year.
And how did you find that?
It's kind of part of the same community. It's different leadership. They do different routes.
Okay.
Have different events. So very similar vibe, but just kind of ran a little bit differently and different days too. So that's probably the biggest thing is the CLT free skate days typically are Sunday. So we do that kind of during the day, like afternoon toward the evening. And then Let's Skate Charlotte does weekly skates on Tuesday night. So we start kind of in the evening around 7 and kind of finish up like 10, 11. So
So it's kind of
like a night skate.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun.
Yeah, the skates we do are Friday mornings, as you know.
So
Only
Friday, right?
Yeah, every Friday morning at 10:30, and then we skate the stretch of the boardwalk. And then what you were saying kind of reminds me of our meetup, which is we skate a while and then we meet up at a stationary spot and jam in place for a while.
Yeah,
we did used to continue, but I don't know. Eventually, we just decided we were cool with that one spot, and then we would get way too tired, like doing stuff in place, and then that's just the end of it now. But we did start those meetups in November of 2020, like right when you started free skating, which is cool.
Yeah,
we've been doing those ever since.
How many people do you get? Hi, Sally.
Sally Ortiz, Andy, Dylan, Woot Woot, and Jacob CK says, "What about the name Jeff Skates?" So there's been a bunch of names thrown around like side skating, Jeff Skating, free skates. Free skates is just kind of what's stuck. And then Freeline, you can't name a sport after a company. But you said how many? I want to say like 20 to 30 people on average at those meetups. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But it's a pretty strong group each Friday. So it's definitely one of the more exciting parts of every week, and it doesn't really get old. So
yeah, same
how
thing.
about you? Sorry.
I would say, I mean, our groups are probably at a minimum of 20 to 30
Okay.
per week. I
So
mean,
pretty big.
I've seen as much as maybe 80, uh,
Wow.
80
Okay.
plus
I don't
on.
think we've had 80.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
pretty big.
it's like a mob of people skating. It's pretty large.
Wow. Yeah. And you skate. What is the terrain, I guess, like on these routes? What does it look like?
I mean, we started at a park area, and then we start moving through basically the city. We're kind of like right there in the city, so we're skating through the city. Um, Terrain is mostly just city streets, so there's a lot of cracks and bumps and speed bumps. Some of the route goes over train tracks, so there's a couple little train tracks that you have to get past,
Yeah.
which are
Those
buttons.
aren't easy to get over.
It's the most troublesome for me. It's the only time I have to like really get off is the train tracks.
Right. Well, hopefully there's not too many of those.
Yeah, there's only two of them, so it's not too bad. But
Corey says good vibes. Some emoji in there.
yeah, we do have some decent hills too.
Oh yeah, hills, lol. Yeah, hills are something that people are surprised we as free skaters can even handle, but it's just an endurance thing. Like you learn how
Yeah,
to pump stronger, and sure, like if it's a 45-degree angle, you eventually run out, but there are ways.
yeah, I did some of the biggest hills I've done on free skates last week,
Hmm.
which we had like a good. It was my longest run, probably 7.5 miles, and there was some at the very end of that skate. We did some big hills, and that was a lot of fun.
Like
But
bombing them, like downhill, or
they were bombing them. I was doing my best to bomb. I've never been down these hills, so I didn't want to like go too fast without knowing the terrain. But
yeah,
because there were definitely some spots that could have tripped you up if I did try to go full speed. But I was going, probably about 20 miles an hour on some of the spots. So it was fun. But yeah, you can stop pretty easy on free skates. So
yeah.
hills are not really.
Carving is pretty intuitive once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, for sure.
What's up, Steph?
What's up, Steph?
I froze. Not yeah. Oh, I'm back. Okay. Nice to see you here, Steph. Isaac says James downhill on free skates. Phew. Shocking. John says Jeff Skates were the first knockoff Chinese company. Japanese riders were always very against calling the sport that. So there's a little history from the J on the bottom of your skates. So I have one question about, I guess, free skating communities or just skating communities in general. Do you have any advice for maybe seeking those out or even starting them, or how can people get involved in skating communities of their own? If you have any advice for that.
Um, I mean, a lot of the other communities, like even aside from these large skate groups, there's like smaller individual groups. Like there's one for one wheelers that are one wheel specific. There's one for in general electric uh, transport riders. So I would definitely look on Instagram if you're looking for a group. I'm kind of surprised, how I found the CLT group first through a friend, so that's how I found that. But I would definitely say searching your city and skate and Instagram, see if any kind of groups pop up. Um, I think though these kind of groups are pretty unique in a sense. I don't think there's many like large skate groups in every city at least. So
Or you could go ahead and start one.
yeah, definitely start your own.
I'm not sure how easy that is, but
I would say if you're gonna start one, make an Instagram page for sure. Put stories out and posts out for your weekly. Try to do a weekly skate and make it the same day, same time every week, just like you guys do for your free skate meetups every week.
making it regular helps. Yeah, I guess with those meetups, we didn't necessarily have huge turnouts at the beginning, but this
Now
person
it's
knows this
growing.
person, and they eventually find out, and it becomes a regular thing. So
Yeah, but if you're pretty inclusive with like what can skate, we're pretty much like all wheels welcome. So it doesn't matter what you ride as long as wheels you can ride with us. And
nice.
kind of what we do. So if you're looking for a group, maybe not make it so specific to free skating, but maybe skating in general,
Mhm.
and then being inclusive through that.
Nice. And then I think just hashtags in your area too, like hashtag free skating, hashtag roller skating, and
Yep.
trying to just reach out to any and all people to ask them if they know of a group that already exists. Because yeah, I think maybe creating one from scratch is pretty difficult. It takes a while. So Facebook groups as well, Isaac says.
Yeah, Facebook too.
Tex says the group I skate with is from a local outdoor skate rink. Find out if your local rink does events like group rollouts. That's a good idea. Or even just go to a rink, and there's ideally roller skaters there that are more active in the community than some others. So they probably have all the
That's a
connections.
good point.
Cool. So feel free to ask James some more questions for the people that are here. I see we have 6 people watching currently. James, do you have any advice? You say you ride in the city streets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice from your experience in that, or maybe some things to watch out for some people who don't typically skate that terrain?
Yeah, I mean, definitely when you're skating on the street compared to your average static skating spot where you got nice smooth pavement and pretty even pavement. When you're skating through the city streets, you have large cracks, you have potholes, you have manhole covers, you have
Yeah.
railroad tracks. So I mean, there's all these things, rocks too, random rocks around. Um, I've learned with free skating is that I'm very focused on the road ahead of me. So I'm always constantly looking ahead, seeing what kind of obstacles there are, and as they get closer, with free skates, you can maneuver around them pretty quickly. So you can, ride from left side to right side across the street very quickly. So just trying to avoid those. So learning how to carve is going to be very important for city street riding, because you got to be able to very quickly, when anything that comes in your way, to be able to maneuver around it.
Mhm.
I know when I was skating in the street a lot, I was very kind of back foot heavy. So kind of lean back. I didn't want to put too much weight on my front side because I didn't want to hit a crack or anything like that and go falling forward. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of more lean back. I'm able to kind of catch myself if my front skate were to hit something. So
Yeah, I think especially in like a city setting, like you got to be wary of like cars and stuff too. So you really have to be aware of your surroundings and looking forward, but also using like your peripherals and like
yep.
thinking ahead, because traffic is kind of unpredictable.
Yeah. I mean, we're usually skating in such a big mob that cars aren't.
They see you.
Yeah, they see us, and they're for the most times pretty patient, and
Yeah.
we always make sure to get over to the side whenever we hit stoplights so that cars can get by, and being able to have someone who's in the front in charge, making sure that people are aware of those things, and making sure that no one gets left behind in those skates, making sure the last person is there before you keep moving on.
I think a lot of people say free skating, or not a lot of people, but I guess some people I've heard say like free skating isn't so practical for like a city setting. But I think Jeff mentioned this the other day. Like cities are kind of built for accessibility, so like there's usually ways to like get onto a curb and then find where it goes back down, like with the yellow bumps. You got to watch out for those yellow bumps. But like,
Yeah,
um,
the crosswalks.
yeah, the crosswalks, those can like really bend your knees and lean back on those if you choose to go over them, or try to like, it's fun to try and go in between the bumps where they're not.
Yeah, that's what I do. Or I'll go around it. Like there's usually like just a very sliver that'll like you can get past.
Yeah, so I mean, I think things like train tracks, sure, they're going to get in your way. It's going to be next to impossible unless you're really skilled to avoid getting off your skates. Just pick them up, walk across, and you'll be good. But otherwise, like, unless you have really, really terrible streets, free skating in the streets is perfect. That's how I used to get to work before I had a car. So I'd recommend trying it. And then William says, or Tex says, got to be sure to try check your blind spots, which is important.
Yeah, which on that too, like when you're free skating, because I'm the only really free skaters going down the street with all these other different types of skates, is I'm the only one kind of facing this direction and having this outward movement. So being able to, check that your movement when you're doing these pumps, that you're not getting in anyone's way when doing those pumps. So yeah, definitely checking your blind spots. I'm always looking back and checking to make sure I'm not in anyone's way, so I don't clip anyone.
Good stuff. William says, what music do you listen to when you're skating, if any?
So usually on like these big, large skate groups, we'll have someone with like a large speaker, and they're kind of just playing, whatever music. I know we have like a Spotify playlist for the group, and people can add music into that and to kind of play just whatever the community likes at the time. So me personally, I really like rock music as well as electronic music, EDM. So EDM is always really fun to skate and pump to. You can get the high pace, high tempo, kind of really helps with pumping and skating. Gets you energetic.
I would agree. I have. I'm pretty into like anything instrumental, so like house, lo-fi, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of rock here and there as well. It's always fun to skate too. Sally says the expression people give James all the time are priceless. Yeah, that's what some people that like roller skate with me or whatever. They're like, "Do you ever see?" Like they'll say like, "Do you ever see the reactions that people give you?" And not usually, honestly, because they choose to look after you've passed. So like you'll pass, and then they'll look behind them. But then, of course, everyone skating behind you sees those reactions. So I
Yeah.
was like, "No, see the reaction." But I agree. It's always fun to see people staring back at you in awe. Isaac says, I see free skating, if you have the endurance, just as enjoyable as surfing on the city. My one wheel, it's super. Wait, on the city on my one wheel, it's super fun just to carve the city streets. Yeah, that's pretty similar on one wheel. I think I've seen shots of people on a one wheel going like across and going like doing those turns
back and forth,
and that is similar to the surfing feeling I think you get on free skates. So
for sure,
good comparison there. Although surfing in particular, I've never tried. I've heard it feels similar to free skating in some aspects. I don't know if you've ever tried that.
No, I haven't been surfing yet. I'd love to try that.
Let's see. What other questions did I have? I think for starting a community, also, if you're looking for specifically free skaters, I'll plug our free skater finder tool that Jeff Milling has so graciously created for us. I can create a banner, or actually, I'll put the link to that in the chat for anybody that's interested in opening up a new tab. If you haven't created an account there, I would very much recommend it because, believe it or not, there is probably at least one free skater in your area, probably no matter where you live at this point.
Yeah,
or maybe within a couple hours or so.
It's amazing to see all the pins pop up on that map.
It's like a sea of red.
Yeah,
love it.
I haven't checked recently. I need to see if anyone else has popped up in my area.
I haven't checked recently either, but I've always been telling people about it whenever I get the chance. So let's see. Currently in your progress, is there anything you're looking forward to? Anything like you're working on / excited about?
Yeah. I've been working a good bit on trying to land the double kickflip switch it, which is I'm kind of like leaping ahead a little bit because I haven't really learned how to do the kickflip by itself.
Oh, really? Okay.
But,
so you're just trying to go straight for the combos.
Yeah. I definitely am having trouble with the kickflip, so that's something I want to learn. But there's something about doing both kickflips at the same time seems a little easier to me than doing one.
So then that's with the skates going like swapping and then landing right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar progression, I think, in terms of what I was trying. I kind of when I was working on the kickflips. Like I'm sure like you've landed your kickflips, right? Just to don't have them down or
I've landed them a few times, but I don't have them down consistently.
so yeah, I didn't either, but I was like trying to just shoot them and hope like to land on them. But I mean it's
Yeah,
fun to try.
yeah. I mean, I'm getting pretty close. So
Cool.
I
Well
think
that'd be
I think even that will help you learn kickflips too. In a
mhm.
sense, you're learning the same motion a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be sick to see a clip of you finally getting it or getting close. What's up, Jason? He says I've caught some reactions behind me when filming with the selfie stick. It's a fun surprise when reviewing the video. Yeah, we had that for when we were cruising on the boardwalk with a 360 cam. We had that reaction of like we were able to like look back into the video and see as people like whip they like I said earlier, they choose to turn around after you've passed because they think you can't see. But when you have that camera, it's fun. Tex says, "What's some stuff you've learned from doing group rollouts?" I froze. I imagine you experience stuff that doesn't happen when you ride alone. Yeah, what have you learned from skating in a group?
Um, so I think the biggest is like watching your blind spots and stuff. When you're skating in a group that large, you really have to be aware of your surroundings because you got some skaters who are coming in from the back side to the front side very quickly, and they're kind of zooming in and out. So I'm literally always constantly checking my blind spots, and as I'm making any kind of adjustment laterally, I'm also at the same time as I'm doing that, I'm looking at the road in front of me and checking for those places that it could trip me up because when I'm skating in a group, if I were to lose a skate, then I can take out people behind me, which sometimes it happens with some of the skateboarders. They try to do a trick while they're in the group in the middle of people, and you get a board that goes flying, and it can. I've seen it trip up skaters before, and I don't want to be that guy. And it hasn't happened yet, so I make sure that I'm always keeping an eye on that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I it's tempting to do tricks when you're in a group setting like that because like you're like, look what I can do. But the moment you screw it up, it just like it
Uh,
screws up everybody, and you're trying to like grab the skate so like people don't hit it, and
I
it
really
happens to me sometimes. But I'd like to think I'm getting less and less or more and more consistent with those so that it doesn't have to trip people up.
yeah. For me, I want to make sure I'm consistent with something before I try to bring it into the group skate while I'm actively moving where people are behind me because I don't want to be responsible for hurting someone. So
Of
um,
course.
I'm always make sure to be careful with that. Anytime I do try a trick, it's like more like approaching a stoplight or something like that, to where I know
Mhm.
there's people are slowing down and paying attention.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then what are some things that I'm assuming you free skate in a solo setting as well as a group setting. What are
Yeah.
some things you enjoy um, about like skating with people with the group? Like, what are some things that you've gotten out of it, or reasons that you come back to it time and time again?
Um, I mean, I really like just in general. I just like being social, so I like meeting new
Okay.
people. Um, there's always new people joining our groups, so there's always new faces every week, and so I you get these new people who are joining in, and they get to see the free skates for the first time, just like much like everyone else in the group, and they get that reaction of wow, what are those, and learning. So being able to continually introduce new people who are skaters about free skating, um, I enjoy, and seeing the reaction. Um, and just like the continual support. So the group's very, very supportive. I have a lot of friends that are always, rooting and cheering me on anytime I, learn a new trick or post a new video. They're always, super supportive, and so that definitely means a lot to me to, have that community support, behind me. Because if I am like the only one doing free skating in the group, and you have people supporting you and not, you know, pointing fingers, look, what is he doing?
Yeah.
It yeah, makes it worth it for sure.
That's cool to have that support group. What so when you're in these group settings, you're typically going on these routes and stopping, going, stopping, going. What kind of skating are you doing when you're off on your own? Like, is it still cruising? Is it more kind of stationary in place, like tricks and stuff? What are you
Sta-
working on?
Stationary, yeah. So
Okay.
usually when I'm not doing those group skates, I like to go to this place called Camp Northen, which is one of my favorite places to skate. It's like nice big um, slab kind of outdoor rink style. It's very
Okay.
flat. The concrete's good, so I'm able to just kind of sit there. I put in, I'll bring like a speaker, play music, and I can just sit there and practice. Practice consistency on my tricks. Try to learn new
Mhm.
tricks. Um, I don't have anyone there to trip up, so I can do whatever trick I want to do, and um, at my own pace, and yeah, try to get video clips, things like that. Try to improve my skating. That's where I have the most improvement. Um, is when I skate alone.
Mhm. Cool. Yeah, I think I would agree. It's been a while since I've just gone on a cruise by myself, and I kind of miss that. There is something about putting in some tunes and just like unplugging from everything on your own. Um, I should do that soon. But I think I would agree for myself. I'm usually in place working on tricks until I exhaust myself, and then I'm all sweaty and I go inside.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
also skate for a very long time too, and when I am doing those little static skates by myself, like I'll skate for a good like 4 hours.
I really lately I haven't had too much time to do that, but when I can, like that's what I obsess over. It's just
Same, yeah. I haven't.
going for the same thing for hours.
Yeah, lately I haven't been doing those long solo skates, but
It's nice to have a group skate, I think, because like it makes you come back to it no matter what.
mhm.
If it's like a weekly meetup, for example, like you have a reason to get out there and skate with people, and you don't have to like remember to like set things up with your friends or whatever because it's like set in stone. So,
Yeah, I can just choose whether or not I want to that week to go out. Depending on how I'm feeling.
mm. uh, what else did I have? We can at this point open up to more Q&A. So if you guys have any questions for James or myself, feel free to drop those in the chat. What else? What else could we talk about here?
Oh, I wanted to say congratulations on the 100K followers too.
Oh, yeah, that is something we could
Pretty
briefly
awesome.
touch on. Thank you. Yeah, it was it's been just these past like 3 or 4 weeks. Instagram for one reason or another has been kind of exploding. So yesterday we hit 100K, and I'd say around 4 or 5 weeks ago we were at 35K.
That's what I thought. I was like,
So
that's insane.
it's quite the increase, and right now we are sitting at 108K. Um,
8K in a
so
day is pretty awesome.
yeah, it's wild. Like that's a lot of people, especially for Instagram. So we're just gonna keep going, and try our best to introduce it to more people. Specifically, June I think is carrying as far as our success right now. Um, it's just a lot of usually whenever you see like purple on the feed, it's usually clips of
June.
June.
Yeah,
There,
I want to say she was probably one of the first
uh,
skaters I saw that got me into it.
yeah, she's whenever I so for example this last weekend I went to VidCon and I was kind of telling people about what I do. They're like, oh wait, I've seen those before. There was this girl on Instagram and she was going crazy. Like that's where I've seen them. So
Mhm.
a lot of people are seeing it specifically because of these June videos, which is cool.
Yeah,
And there's just something about her skating that makes it look so effortless and beautiful. And I assume that's why people gravitate towards her.
ever so often I'll have someone send me a video, like a free skating video. They'll just share it to me on Instagram, and it's always June.
Yeah, she's amazing. Um, And she's just as amazing in person too. Like I hope once we have some US competitions, I hope some people get the chance to meet like people
Yeah,
like her and some other riders that show up on our feeds
for
every day.
sure.
Sally says James does everything with his free skates.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Do you like cook your breakfast with free skates or what's up?
Uh, I bought I bought roller skates about a year ago now. But like as soon as I bought the roller skates, I was like, all right, let me try to ride my free skates with the roller skates. So
Did it work?
yeah,
Nice.
I've gotten pretty good at that. I learned how to do like a toe flip with it too.
Really?
Yeah,
I think the only person I've seen do that is Maddie.
I think he was the first one I saw do it, and I was like, I could do that.
Nice. Yeah, he'll do like a stomp or a flip stomp. As long as you figure out like kind of the lock, I guess depending on your roller skate trucks, if you lock it in there,
Yeah,
the wheels don't move. So at that point, you just have to free skate. But I would imagine it's pretty uncomfortable.
yeah. You're kind of like pushed at one angle, especially if you have like the heeled version roller skates.
Hmm.
Might be a little bit better with the flat skates.
I gotcha. Yeah, I should try that sometime. Tech says, "Wow, that's an insane growth in followers. Has it slowed now, or is it still going?" From what I can tell, it is still going. So, like I said yesterday, we were at 90 something K. I'm not sure what, but eventually, like midday, we hit 108K, and about 24 hours later, or sorry, 100K. 24 hours later, we were at 108K. So that's like 8K followers, and then I think it's still growing. Like if I just refresh.
Do you think TikTok has helped with your followers on Instagram?
Not so much. So TikTok is actually not doing super hot right now. We have a history of, TikTok doesn't like things that are dangerous on their platform. So it sees the free skating and it's like, that's dangerous. So we have a history of getting some flags that you can't really remove, even if they get approved again. They still count against you. So right now we're just dealing with a lot of pushback. But
I know you had like that one video that went like 20 million views or something.
yeah, one of Maddie's has 30 million. I think that's our most viral video on TikTok right now. Let's see, 36.9 million.
Wow.
And that's this one right here.
Yeah.
Did not expect that to get 36 million views, but so that it's hills. It's successful some days, and then like some weeks we'll just have a lower point. But like I said,
Hopefully
Instagram.
it continues. Yeah, you guys are at a million.
What's that?
I said hopefully it can trends and you guys continue to grow and to get to
Yeah, I mean we're already at what is it 543, 546K on TikTok, and then 18K on YouTube, and then 108K on Instagram. All great things. It means the free skating community is growing, and that is fantastic.
For sure.
Tech says that's kind of crazy considering my IG algorithm loves showing me roller skaters doing backflips. That's mine too. There's a lot of like crazy talented roller skaters in San Diego that we're friends with, so I get a lot of those as well.
Yeah, I got a lot of San Diego roller skaters on mine.
Oh, really? Wow. I wonder if it's like associated those with free skating content at this point.
Yeah, that plus probably similar friends and who knows.
Cool.
But it's cool. I like the skating content regardless.
Is there anything you like seeing on our feed? And anyone else in the chat can answer this too. Like, when we post something on Instagram, what do you enjoy seeing? Is it the tricks? Is it like someone flowing? You personally?
Probably the tricks. I like those the most. Definitely the flowing is pretty cool too. But yeah, I mean the tricks I always love to see. Yeah. People running off ramps and doing kick flips. You doing your double kick flip switches.
I haven't been getting them too much lately. but a single one. The single ones are really fun. Sally says flowing bids.
Yeah, those
Nice.
are always cool looking, especially with the nice backdrop in San Diego.
As long as it's like aesthetically pleasing, I feel like any video of free skates tends to do well these days. So if you free skate and you're not posting on Instagram yet, what are you doing? But cool. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Anything about the future of the sport that you're excited about? Anything? Say anything about free skating at all that you want to touch on while you're here?
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to free skating being more of a household name, I guess you could say, or like
Yeah.
a known name, people knowing about free skating, which is only going to happen with more free skaters popping up in different areas and introducing
Mhm.
them. So the fact that I'm skating around and getting all these reactions from people who are mind blown because it's the first time they've ever seen them. You're kind of introducing people to those for the first time. So the more they see them and they learn about them, they'll be able to be a known name. So I'm definitely looking forward to the sport growing just through
Yeah.
word of mouth and seeing them.
I mean, once you reach that threshold, I feel like it's just game over. I mean, the a, a sport like this, if everybody knows about it, like there's going to be so many people that couldn't resist like buying themselves a pair because of how cool it is. If everybody knows what it is, I feel like, and I'm biased, but more so than any other board or ride. Like you see these, like that is different. That could make me look different than everyone else, and I can't wait to pass that threshold personally. James says hi. Hey
So
James.
James,
James is killing it. I think James, have you even been skating for a year? I'm pretty sure James has been skating for less than a year, and he's already doing
yeah,
like
he's
one
very good.
foot,
I love his videos.
1 foot turnarounds. You got to get James back up on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, I love watching his podcast. It was awesome. And like the little skating around Singapore video he did with all the different spots. That was so cool. I should maybe do something similar for Charlotte. It'd be cool.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool, actually. But yeah. Thank you, James, for joining. Let's see. I'm going to start counting people. I feel like out of the 10 people in here, there's got to be like two or three that have not revealed themselves.
Speak up.
When is the next time you plan on coming to San Diego? Do you have a plan for that at all, or not quite yet?
No immediate plan. With my work right now, I'm working on a project that involves a good bit of traveling. So I did notice that there are some trips coming up for San Diego in specific. So I'm trying to put my hat in for those specifically so that I can visit you guys soon. So hopefully, and I think there's 2 installs. So yeah, hopefully I can get a whole week out there or something. Would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like sometime like towards like this end of this summer or something like that.
It'd probably be the next couple months.
Cool. Yeah. Speaking of visiting in the next couple of months, we got Cuba Cheese. Believe he'll be here in a couple months' time, hanging out with the crew. So that'll be fun. Cuba Cheese always making me hungry.
I love the cheese name.
Welcome. And then, as always, I'm sure we have Chris B lurking in the shadows. Although he hasn't said anything, so maybe he's actually not here. But Keep Cheese says, Gabe, do you think the YouTube channel will have rapid growth at some point, like TikTok and Instagram have? I think it is possible. I think a couple things need to happen. There needs to be some outside interest as far as somebody else bringing new eyes to the product, and then therefore they, get recommended our stuff. So in the case of someone bigger trying them out for the first time and showing their struggles and learning, or some content of our own that has a little more reach and grabs a piece of some greater, more broader audience. If we figure out a style of those videos and give it a good cadence and a more series kind of thing. Um, there's potential. So I am working on some ideas that will grab a larger set of viewers, and once you have momentum and build on it on YouTube, it can start growing pretty fast. So I think at someday it will, especially when it becomes more of a household name and people really start to like multiply.
Yeah.
But until then, trying to innovate and find some ways for to kind of make that happen for us. Instagram though is where it's at right now in terms of just sheer growth. Like I could probably refresh and see. It's probably not 109K, but clicked on the wrong thing. We did just hit 18,000 couple weeks ago on YouTube, so it's growing ever slowly, but still growing strong. Yeah, we just gained like 50 followers since I last checked, so that adds up.
Yeah.
Before it was like we were losing followers every day.
Really.
Before, like, because I don't know if you saw for like 6 months we were at like 35 ish, which is fine. It's like a lot of people, but it was just a slight downward trend.
I wonder who's all subscribing and following.
New people. It's Instagram Reels. It's pushing like crazy right now, and it's giving us a good set of eyeballs. So taking advantage of it. Giba Cheese says, "Do the ups and downs mean? Do the ups and downs mess with your mental health?" Wow, that's a deep, totally different angled question. The pause isn't to suggest that it does, but I'm just trying to think of how I would answer that question. I would say it can. My attitude is not to let it get too much in the way, because in reality it's like, you move on to the next post or you move on to the next YouTube upload the next week. When you do have ups, like crazy ups, it does make the downs way more apparent, and vice versa. So it's literally up and down in terms of the numbers. So maybe yes, a little bit, but I don't let it get to me that much. I mean, we're lucky to have a largely positive follower base. You get occasionally some new people that it shows up in their feed and they decide to be all mean, but those are few and far between. So
Yeah.
it is an important subject in the creator space. Thankfully, not too much going on here with that. John says, James, what's it like to skate in the muggy heat out there?
It's rough, man.
That's a good point. Like those long 7 mile skates, like in that.
I mean, I definitely sweat a good bit, and like, yeah, like after that 7 mile skate, man, I was drenched. It was gross. it was tough. Definitely start to get heat exhaustion after a little while.
Yeah, I come from the Midwest where it's definitely pretty muggy and just humid. So I don't know if I would ever want to go on those skates out there.
Yeah, I always bring a spare shirt when when I do those long skates. So I know when I get back, shirt's gonna be drenched.
Wow. Cupid Cheese says, I worry about you, Gabe. Thank you, Cupid Cheese. Gotta check in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I mean, I would rather our TikTok be doing better, or say our Instagram be doing better, like when it's not. But then obviously it is right now. So on a huge mental high from that. But it's all regardless of the results, it's all a positive effort and trying to get the sport out to more people. So it's just a matter of it's more some days, it's less others. So
got to focus on the positive. But you're doing awesome. I love your content and all the videos you're putting out every week.
Always down for more feedback too, and making sure people are enjoying it.
Definitely do love to see that every week.
Appreciate it. Text says spare socks is key too. Me personally, I mean, I don't know. For me, I would rather just they're gonna get sweaty either way. So just taking them off, trying to just rip them off at the end of the day, and throw them in the hamper. I don't know that I would feel like switching them out mid skate sesh, but that might be nice not to have damp feet the whole day. But cool. We are sitting at around 55 minutes of this stream. If anybody wants to get some last last minute comments in, please feel free. Do you have any closing thoughts, James?
No, as far as just the whole skating community thing, I definitely think, as a free skater, that's helped me a lot to grow and to try and continue to grow. And so I think if you're not part of a skating community already, you should look to see if there is one around you, or if not, look into trying to create one, because it's pretty beautiful to have a inclusive space where everyone feels welcome to join with whatever type of skate that you have or enjoy doing, and not have any judgment about that. And it's great to have that freedom. It's a great place to relax and kind of free your mind. It's good therapy, and you can meet a lot of new people and have a lot of new friendships. I've gained a lot of friends through the group, so that means a lot to me to be able to have those people in my life. So
I would fully agree with our Friday meetups as well. It's just constant opportunities for like growth and like socially, but then as well as your progression. Like
yeah,
being with skaters every week has made my progression as a skater just like a constant upward slope. It's gradual. Like I don't get insanely better every week, but it's hard not to like learn new skills, new techniques of like slowing down, speeding up, learning this trick in this direction, and like it builds. So it all adds up, and getting close to 2 years of those meetups is has paid off in more ways than one. Um, I would say the friends is probably one of the best
yeah,
parts.
for sure. With that, shout out to Sally and Simon and Isaac for joining into the chat today. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, William. Thank you, Cupid Cheese.
Everyone else as well. I appreciate it.
Tech, John, James, everyone. Okay. Think, unless anybody else has some closing thoughts, we're going to end it here. Thank you, James, for joining. It's been nice having you on. Finally, I'm sure we'll have you on again someday. It'd be cool to also just have like I don't know, one random thought I have is like a group podcast. So
yeah, that'd be dope.
You, me, Keep It Cheese, people like all having a little powwow or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
but anyways, thank you everyone for being here. Come back next week for episode 33 with a very special guest. And until then, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.